Here's a question on vectors. Before we actually tackle the question, I'm going to remind you of some of the few general principles about vectors. First of all, the definition of a vector is that it has magnitude and direction. Magnitude simply means size, so it's got a size and it's got a direction. So if you look at OA, and we'd write that like that, look, OA is equal to A. If you went back the other way from A to O, and you'd show it like that, it's a negative A. That's about 4.4 long. So if I drew another one over here parallel to that and keeping it at 4.4, that would also be worth A. That is the vector value, if you like. If I did one that was double the length, suppose I went to 8.8, so long as it's parallel with that, that would be 2A. Now that means, of course, that this one is also A. So CB is A because it's parallel to that one and it has the same length. And AB is also C. But remember, if you go the other way, we make it negative. Now, what if we went halfway up OA? Let's have a point that we'll call Z. OZ would be worth A over 2. And incidentally, ZO would be negative A over 2. Now, suppose I join O to B, put an arrow going that way. So we want really the vector value of OB. And to get from O to B, I'm going to use what I already know, and that is I'm going to go up to there and across to there. A plus C gives me OB. So there's a few of the general ideas. Now let's look at the question again. Let's read what it says. OABC is a parallelogram. That's useful to know. That means that that's going to be A, that's going to be C. OA is A, OC is C. That's marked on for us. X is the midpoint of the line AC. We haven't got that yet, so let's draw the line AC. OCD is a straight line, so that OC to CD is K to 1. So we need to extend this line, and D is somewhere over there. We don't know where it is yet, but we do know that OC to CD is K to 1. Oh, remember, I haven't put in the midpoint yet, X. X is the midpoint of the line AC. Now they've told us that XD has a value, so let's draw XD on. And look, it's going from X to D, so we've got to go that way. And that value is 3C minus a half A. We've got to find the value of K in this expression here. So we need OC to CD. In other words, then, we're going to need to find the value of CD. It's going to be a multiple of C because it's a continuation of C. It will be a multiple of C. My way of thinking is I want to get from C to D, but I've got to use values I already know. So actually, I could go up that way and across there. So going up that way, I need to find what CX is. So let's find what CA is. CA, so if I was going from C to A, I would go negative C plus an A. But I'm going to rewrite that as A minus C. And in fact, we could go this way. We could go A minus C. So CA, A minus C. CX is going to be half of A minus C. So, looking again, if I'm going from C to D, I'm going to go CX, so I'm going to go half A minus C, and then XD, so plus 3C minus a half A. Let's multiply out those brackets. That's a half A minus a half C plus 3C minus a half A. But look, a half A minus a half A, they're going to knock each other out. So I'm going to end up with just the C part, which is 3C minus a half C. So that's 2.5 C. I'm going to rewrite that as an improper fraction. That's 5 over 2C. And now we're going to look back at this. OC to CD is K to 1. Now we know what OC is. It's C. So C to 5 over 2C is K to 1. I'm going to actually write this underneath that. So we've got C to 5 over 2c, because we are comparing directly down like that now. So this side we need to be 1. So I can multiply by 2 over 5 times 5 over 2c, and that would turn that into 1, but to be fair, I have to do it to this side. So 2 over 5 times c will compare to that. So let's look at that one more step. 2 over 5c compares to 2 5s are 10, 5 2s are 10, so that's 1c. So now we've got a 1 that side, we've got a 2/5 that side, and that shows that k is worth 2/5. It's a lot of work for just 4 marks. Here's another vectors question. OAN, OMB, and APB are straight lines. AN is 2OA. M is the midpoint of OB. OA is given by A. OB is given by B. AP equals KAB, where K is a scalar quantity, so K is simply a multiple. Given that MPN is a straight line, find the value of K. So MPN, which they haven't drawn, let's do that. MPN is a straight line. If that's A, then that will be 2A. So we can say that ON is 3A. OM is half B. MN, so to get from M to N, I would go back along there and then up there. So that is 3A minus a half B, written the other way around. So there's negative half B plus 3A, so that's MN. AB, we're going to go negative A plus B, so that's going to be B minus A. And AP, we know is K times B minus A. Now I think the first thing I'm going to look at is MP. So let's put that over here where there's a bit more space. MP. Now how do I get from M to P? Well, I'm going to go a negative half B, a positive A, and then AP, which we found to be that, so plus K times B minus A. Now what I'm really interested in here are these two equations. That one, which is MN, and this one, which is MP. MP, MN, because you can see that MN must be a multiple of MP because it's one straight line. Looking at MN, you can see that we've got 3A minus a half B, so that's the A part, that's the B part, but here we've got B's and A's kind of mixed up all over the place. I'm going to alter this around a little bit. I'm going to write minus a half B plus A plus KB minus KA, and then I'm going to group the A's together and the B's together. So we've got A minus KA plus KB minus a half B, and then we'll use brackets. So we've got A times 1 minus K plus B times K minus a half. And really what we're doing is matching those across there. Now we know that MN is a multiple of this. So if we look at each part separately, that says 3A, this says 1 minus KA. We need to multiply the 1 minus K to get that 3. So I'm going to do X times 1 minus K is going to give me that 3 to go with the A, and X times K minus a half is going to give me that minus a half that goes with the B part. So I've simply matched what we call the coefficients of B and the coefficients of A. Now going from there, we could say, well, X is worth 3 over 1 minus K. Incidentally, what we've got here is really a pair of simultaneous equations. So x is 3 over 1 minus k there, and x here is minus a half over k minus a half. Now we've got two values of x. X is that and x is that, and they have to be equal. So we can say 3 over 1 minus k is equal to minus a half over k minus a half. So that's what we've got. So I'm going to simply cross multiply. So 3 times k minus a half, and those two multiply each other. So 3 times k minus a half is equal to minus a half times 1 minus k. Let's multiply those out. So we've got 3k minus 3 over 2 equals minus a half plus a half k. Now we're going to simplify this. First job, I'm going to add 3 over 2 to both sides. So the left-hand side will simply become 3k. And the right-hand side, so we're adding 3 over 2, subtracting 1 over 2. So that's 2 over 2, which is 1, plus a half k. And I'm sure you've guessed I'm going to subtract a half k from both sides. So I'm going to have 2.5 k equals 1. I'm going to rewrite that as 5 over 2 k equals 1. And now divide both sides by 5 over 2. So k equals 1 divided by 5 over 2. And of course we're dividing by a fraction, so you know that we're going to flip and multiply. So that is equal to 1 times 2 over 5. In other words, k is worth 2 over 5.